How do I... YouTube. You don't even give me the link to the stream so that I may share. Why, YouTube? Why you do this? Where is the link to the stream? I clicked on that one. I have to go. No. At EVER somehow brings up text. I need to go to every. Don't need you. Don't need you. I kind of need you. Mod you, I guess. Okay, you have been modded. Alright, let's see how bad typing is. That seems pretty not good. It's quieter than my talking, but man, you would think that they would tune it in a way. Maybe take up that little frequency. This isn't mechanical either. This is a regular laptop keyboard with a low profile membrane, whatever you want to call it. Impromptu joke time. Yeah, it's another 3 hours 15 for me. I'm not staying on that long or anything. I mean, unless this keeps up. I kind of want to show. I can't. But I kind of want to show what I've got going on in this little tiny area right here. I've got. So I'm on the couch, the hotel couch. Love seat. My legs are outstretched on the ottoman. I've got a blanket over them because the fucking air conditioning unit here in the hotel room is just fully open to the outside. So when it's cold outside, like, you know, Portland at the end of the fucking year, it just blows cold air inside if it's not on and running. I don't want it on and running because the way that this thing is programmed is not like it is at your house or your apartment. It's if it goes 1 degree below, it kicks on, and then it only goes to exactly what you set it to, that 1 degree up, and then turns off. Yours, at your house, apartment, whatever, it waits until it gets 2 below, and then when it kicks on, it goes up to 1 over. That's how most of them are programmed. So it's got that 3-degree change, and that keeps it from kicking on too often, which saves it, it helps its condenser life and all that. So this thing is just on and off all the time. It's loud. So I threw a couple of pillows underneath it. Doesn't, prevent everything, but it's doing fine. Still a little bit of feeling on airflow though. So then they have this like overlap thing that usually just sits on the ottoman, so I'm using that to put the laptop on. They got this little tray thing that kind of, I don't know. I kind of want to show you this thing. It's one of those things that's meant to let the legs, the base will stick underneath something and then comes up and over. So you can have it over your lap while you are somewhere. The problem is this doesn't work anywhere. This doesn't work when you're sitting on the couch. It's too low for your legs to go underneath. The bed is even higher. So this doesn't work for anything. They didn't get the right size. But it works good as a mouse. Place to put the mouse. And then right here, I've got the TV. I'm not going to play that for too long. Blue Mountain State's not on Netflix anymore. It hasn't been for almost a year. And I was in the mood. But it's really cheap on Netflix or Vudu. So added to library. And that's sitting on a table, a desk that they have that is on wheels. That's very useful. So, I mean, these, with going around, traveling around for work so much, it's easy to just make the hotel room my own. So, I would move the bed if I could. But I can't, because the bed, the nightstands, the lamps, all that's built into this gigantic thing. So that's not going anywhere. Blue Mountain State, yep. It is in our Vudu library. So I was going to have this up just to sit and chat and type. I don't want the typing to be too loud, but then again, I don't want to do nothing while I'm sitting here. I wish I could just, I wish I didn't feel like I had to hold everything so close to the chest. I know no one's here is gonna, take anything. But at the same time, I just, it's not like I'm taking the video down either. I just don't want this stuff to be out there because this project is so near and dear. Am I doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing good. Work's going good. Next week I'll have a better idea on how much better it should be going, but it seems like I'm making everybody happy up here, and that's a good thing. If what I talked about in the video happens, though, with this project, then I'm going to be incredibly busy, and it will likely involve a lot more travel. So, and not just short term either. Potentially a couple years. So, ASVAB scores? No. What were your ASVAB scores? I don't remember mine. I can guess. I'd probably... Hold on. When I went to tech school the second time, because they were trying to teach me on the other tool, the instructor read them all out again for everyone, and that was the first time I'd heard it in years, and they were different than I remembered. So Yeah. I mean, I can only be off by a couple anyway. Uh, I think it was 95, 98, 99, 99. Or 95, 96, 99, 99. It was something like that. So that's why after I took the scores and I went to I was still at the MEPS building and they had that career counselor guy that you that would walk you through what the different careers were so you can pick your job and all that sort of stuff. He just handed me the book. 73? That's still good for just about everything. There aren't. That's one score though. So is that the average to a 73? YouTube doesn't save chat messages if you use the pop-out window now. It should still be saved for the playback after, but if you're talking about how, I don't think it ever did. If you hit the pop-out window, I don't remember it carrying over. I know Twitch is terrible about that, but Twitch is terrible about many things. But no, even an average of 73 is good for most everything. The job that I picked, it had you don't qualify for 5 jobs out of what 300 that the Air Force has. So yeah, you can do most anything. I remember saying, oh, before I opened the book, I said, okay, I would like something that kind of uses the higher scores. Otherwise, I felt like it'd be wasted. Kind of like what happened later on when I got approved for cross training to be a linguist with my scores, my DLab scores being the highest she had ever seen. I didn't want them to be wasted either, and then they got wasted. But back here, I kind of told him that. I said, I'd like the higher requirement ones because those might be the ones that I'm more interested in. He said that those were toward the front of the book. And the first job that I opened up was nuclear tech. And so I said, well, this sounds interesting. And then he listed off a couple states and says, do you want to live there? No. And he said, okay, keep swiping. Because that's where they would send you. So skip past that. My job was the second or third one that was in the book. Now with the language thing, I think I've talked about this one. I got the highest score that she had ever seen, meaning I could learn any language that the Air Force was teaching, and yet when they approved it was for level. It was for one of 5 languages, and all of them are either level 1 or level 2 languages, according to some entity that rates the difficulty of languages when the only language that you know is English. So I could have learned anything, and they wanted me down here at the bottom. That would have been a waste, but then I ended up getting kicked out anyway. You only see your own messages now, but possibly because you're using the cosplay account, which doesn't have YouTube Premium. It shouldn't be hiding hardcore's messages from you just because you don't have Premium on that account. I also wonder if this thing, it shouldn't be, if this stupid thing is counting me as a viewer. What's up, Robbie? Because it's saying that there are 4 here, but it's now U3 typing. I wonder if it's counting me. Because they keep changing things, so the fact that it's been a while since I've actually paid attention to this sort of stuff. know what's going on and want to do it anyway. This is just another pop-up that's in the way of their game. Oh, so this last post, what was the post kind of slowly just crept up. It's quietly hitting those big like marks. Can you stop being stupid, Cable? You're on your screen 2. I'm on screen 2 as you play some Diable. So I like my little setup I got going on here. I've got everything within reach, but at the same time, damn it, my back injury means I need to keep moving around from time to time. I can't even sit still in a movie theater. So, Crusaders of the Lost Idols. I'm just running through a challenge objective right now to get more tokens, which, by the way, are used to buy things in a store that I haven't checked in a while. Don't care about her, don't care about him. So I don't want to buy these. These are called Golden Epics. And I don't want to buy anything else. What is this? 600 to buy a Taskmaster. Do I want another Taskmaster? I don't know that I want another Taskmaster. Generally, the thing that they say you should get is just the week-long idle buff, because everything else you can get in other ways. By the way, I haven't fucking sent anyone out on a mission in forever. You've got Warcraft running, but I haven't played since yesterday morning. Holy shit. Ah, 87. So, 87% chance of success. What this means is that in the 1 in 8 chance that this fails, there is then another dice roll that the Crusaders that are involved in this mission would be injured. The reason why I care about that is because of, can you see my, you can. This little stat right here, total Crusaders injured, 0. I have had missions fail before. I have had dangerous missions fail before, but no one has actually got injured. I, for whatever reason, to my own detriment, because I would like to have these Crusaders, I don't remember what they came from, but I must have missed and not been able to finish that event. That happened a few months ago, actually. I'd like to have them. 7 out of 8 chance I will have them. And there's even a small chance if I lose them that I still won't be injured. But, man, that's risky. That's risky. Same thing with all of these. All of these are dangerous. So if there's anything less than a 98% chance, I usually balk. 96 is alright. But at the same time, I don't care about this Crusader, so. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? So, hardcore, do you have a date? Have you picked a job? You had your ASVAB scores, but it doesn't mean that you picked your job yet. Does the thought of being a pawn, just like this game, ever pass your mind? Like large companies just use some of their employees like idle games. So, not really. Yes, companies use employees to make money. But at the same time, they give you money. And that's good. So I don't see a problem. It is a win-win. You may not be an equal partner in the relationship, no, but I still this is I don't know. Do I don't. Carnival of Sorrows, yeah, it was that one that I missed. Whatever the hell. Carnival of Sorrows. Was that an August, September event? Or was that late July and I missed it because of Comic-Con? I just didn't focus. I mean, the events run for 10 or 12 days. They're not... they are flexible. I just, for some reason, I ended up not remembering to put time in. So, did I get the gist of what you were asking, Hardcore? I can't pull this back if I hit start mission. Can't take them off. 87%. I'm going for it. Going for it. What's this say? Is this still 96? It dropped to 95. I don't care about Rudolph that much. I don't. That's 100% though. Let's get some idols. I don't know if I'm supposed to care about Rudolph, but I don't care about Rudolph. Somewhat. Well, we can rephrase. Don't mind. Aphelion, the distant. I don't know what you are. Are you some fucking man? You're not a vampire, because they have a tag for that. I think. No, that's the elf. Waxing gibbous. I don't know what you are. You are... What the fuck is that? I don't know what that little dude with wings is. Anyway. No, no, no. You may have asked it wrong. Restate. We're here. Again, this is just a let's hang out stream. This is not a... There is no book. Nothing on the agenda. Am I wearing another shit? There's not one within reach. Can't change my shirt right now. I like my shirt, by the way. I got a couple long sleeve shirts. You guys saw another one in the video, but yeah. I'm assuming you guys can see the whole thing because I can't see well enough to see what you guys are seeing. But this one's sort of a Super Nintendo world because it's in that shape of the system and the controller. I got this, and I got that Chrono Trigger shirt, long sleeve. They're supposed to be sweaters, but these things are just about t-shirt thick, so let's just call them some long sleeve shirts, despite that not being what I ordered when I was here, just to wear around the room. And then I've also got, let's see how PG we can keep this. Is that visible? Are my Mario Brothers 3 pajama bottoms? Yeah. By the way, I absolutely go down dressed like this in the morning to get breakfast in the hotel lobby with all of the other kids there that are dressed more adult-like than I am. Can you stop being a butt? Let's keep this PG as possible. Yeah, I'm actually not going to be cussing. Well, I thought about the idea of, like, for example, the Game Grumps, who I honestly believe are just deciding to cut back on their workload on the video making part so they can do other things, but then just blaming the algorithm for their less content. But one of the things that they keep talking, they feel like they're slaves to the content and to YouTube's algorithm. And so one of the things that they don't cuss in the first minute of the video, but also they don't use the normal bleeps that you hear, because YouTube sees those too, and will mark your video as one with obscenities in them, and so they will still show them to fewer people, and so they use other sounds. I thought about doing the same in this video, and currently I do still have a few words, just a few in 55,000 is good, Rilo, but I thought about covering them with different sounds from the game, and I still may, but at the same time, I kind of want this to be a video that anybody can watch, and so maybe I should just clean it up. I don't care if it's if those words are how I feel is best to express my idea. I should just clean it up, let it to where more people can watch. First quote of the new year for me. Holy shit! Happy New Year, Hardcore. You're on the East Coast. Ish. I mean, enough. You're Eastern. Ooh, I gotta stop rolling these sleeves up. No, it's so baggy down there. Hopefully when I wash them, it shrinks back up. The first time I got these things, though, I forgot where they make them. I don't think they make them in China. I think they print them in Canada. But when I got them, I got it shipped to work, and then I don't have a desk there really, at least not yet. At least not until tomorrow, because the training guy that's leaving, I'm just gonna take over his desk. So she was the woman that goes and grabs the mail. She puts it at the site lead's desk here, and I opened it. He's younger than me, but he games as well and stuff. So I opened them at his desk, and when I pulled those things out, it smelled the package inside, which was just these two shirts, smelled like vinegar. So I had to lay them out at the office for a few hours before I took them home. You are a Floridian now, huh? do remember you talking about moving. Where at in Florida? Robbie, did they detail all the classes yet for Diablo 4? Mas! Happy New Year to you. Not for me, but for you. How's the new year been so far? Yeah, I'm not there yet. I still got 3 hours. An in-process thing, gotcha. Well, where is... So, maybe this is what your somewhat was referring to before. So do you have a date that you're going in, and which force was it? Because I don't remember. And then, are you still going to move in that meantime to Florida? And well, you are, but where to? And when's that going to kind of be a finished process? Robbie, I thought they revealed 3 or 4 of them already. I know that they had the... I could look it up. I know that it was at least 2, but I thought that there were more that they had talked about, and that they were only going to have 5 at start. Simulation? It's not a simulation. It's just an idle game. So you have these Crusaders down here on your bench. You level them up with the gold that you get from the enemies that you defeat, and you keep leveling them up, but eventually the enemies get too strong for the level that your characters are at, and so then you have to start again by resetting the world. And then it's also got a lot of other stuff on the side, and it's got missions that you can do, like what I'm doing now. Alright, let's bring Wolfie. And so you do this. Every time you reset, you get more idols. The more idols you get, the stronger you get. And you can also spend the idols on talents right here. And then in this particular objective, you will also get challenge tokens, which is used in a shop. So, Where are we at? Still windy outside. It rained a lot of the day. Gotcha. Gotcha, hardcore. Moss, how have things been for you, buddy? Oh, Robbie, you watched the video earlier. Yeah, no fucking audio, and so I kind of figured that out at the end. I told him that as he was on his way out, that I would take a look at it later, but no fucking audio. The thing is, the game that we were playing is one that you are absolutely familiar with as well. when you didn't come and I decided that since it was just the two of us, we could do it inside the computer room. That it changed the game. So the intent was to do Halo 2 and start that up, but and we can do that next time. I was gonna pick a date, but the problem is the date that I was gonna pick was gonna be the second Saturday in January, the 11th. But I may not be home for that anymore because things change with work so often. Barbarian, Sorceress, and Druid. Okay. So I'm guessing Sorceress is going to be intentionally different than the Mystic or Magician or whatever it is now. And Druid's just new, but at the same time it seemed like the Druid was all about pets. And they have that already. Doesn't the Witch Doctor do pets, or does the Witch... And then they have the Necromancer, which does other kinds of pets. But that's fine. They change it up in little ways. That's fine. If I spend too much time, can I do this at once? Can I do a stream where I talk to you guys, but also do this? Because every time I look over here, I think, okay, let me go back 2 or 3 paragraphs and get my bearings again. I don't know if I should do that. I could do it with less focus, and then I'm going to go back over and read everything a bunch of times anyway if we're editing, so. I actually think pretty is better than elegant in this situation. Yeah, me too, Robbie. I hope that it's a game, because I haven't had a game in a while. I'm not counting this phone game that I'm playing, so I haven't had a game in a while where it's a long-term progression thing, so you can keep playing it over a long period of time and still get better. In fact, it might have actually been since Destiny 2. And I quit that a long time ago. So, Diablo 3, in fact, when I quit Destiny, the first time, the second time? I don't remember. It might have been the first time. Holy shit, I think the TV was over in the corner still back when I did. Wow. Yeah, it must have been the first time I quit Destiny. It was because I realized, and this is something that I talked about in my Destiny Postmortem series and something that I brought up later, that, in fact, we talked about it in the We Talk Over that we did not voice record, but I was playing Destiny, and I was putting in hours every day, and I had this checklist with a dry erase marker and so I had the checklist printed out on this piece of paper, slid it into a page protector, and then a dry erase marker, and I kept using that to make sure that I did all of the things to get gear and stuff like that every day and every week on every character on every account. And I realized after a while, that was fun for a while, but then I realized I gotta stop doing this because I'm getting these small incremental gains, and then one or two characters got to the point where I wasn't getting any gains at all. And so I started to just go and do the stuff that was fun. And then I stopped because I realized I could go and do dailies, or not dailies, I can go and do the patrol missions for 12 hours a day if I wanted to. I liked the patrol missions in Destiny 1. They ruined them in Destiny 2, but I really liked them in Destiny 1. They were my favorite single player thing to do, and they were my favorite group thing to do, especially on Earth, because there was a way that you could do them in a group and just knock those out so quick, and you could farm that faction rep so quickly. The only other thing that I did, but only with a dedicated good group, was farming Prison of Elders when that came out later on. But that was it. The first time I quit, though, this was before Prison of Elders, and I just wanted to do bounties all the time, strikes here and there, and I realized that I could do, or not bounties, but patrols. I could do patrols for 12 hours a day. I could do strikes 12 hours in a row, and my character would not be better afterward. So that's why I got into Diablo 3. Now this was back, this could have been season 3 or 4. I mean, this was a long time ago. And because in Diablo, because of the Paragon system, you just get better no matter what you are doing. If you are playing, you are getting experience, and then, I mean, you can get less experience if you play on lower difficulties, but why do that? You could just clear your way through a bunch of the higher difficulties, even if it's not the highest. Every bit of experience you got went toward leveling your character, and then after you finished leveling your character, it went toward your Paragon. Even after you had maxed out all of those little things on the Paragon selector, you then kept putting it into your stats, which still kept making you better. And that, even if it was a small gain, I kind of enjoyed that. So the fact that everything I was doing was good and improved your character on Diablo, in Diablo 3, that kept me going. And I was into it for a few seasons, and that was good. And then I stopped playing just because that, I kind of got that itch out of me. I didn't go back to Destiny, but, it scratched that itch that I needed for a while. So that was nice. Eli, holy shit. Sorry, I went on a tangent thing. What's up, Baker? Tabish, what's up to you too? So that little thing, guys, was just because I was describing why I even played Diablo 3 in the first place. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. I'm kind of in a mood for a game like that. The problem is, with work, which is about to get much busier, with travel because of work, with time that I have been spending on the car, which is a new real hobby, and then all the time that I have it up right now. I have the script up right here, but also playing and recording. I mean, I've got this hooked into the computer right now, specifically so I can just easily record stuff. Time to play is way down, and what sucks is, even though I've been playing a lot of single player offline stuff and enjoying the shit out of it, I've put a lot of hours into Fire Emblem Three Houses for a while when that came out, and then I went and bought Dragon Quest XI on the Switch and started to just speed through that because I beat it. I beat it on stream with you guys, so I just was speeding through all of that, and I'm enjoying that. And then Luigi's Mansion 3 came out, and I put a lot of time into that. So I was enjoying all those sorts of games. Now the Switch is back home. Hopefully, I will be able to bring the Switch back with me next time I go home. But at the same time, I've got this other gameplay to record anyway. I'm in the mood to do a lot of things, but the number one thing that I'm trying to find right now is something to do online with Exus that we're both in the mood for. And that's the trick. We both got to be in the mood for it. Yes, we could play Diablo. Yes, we could play StarCraft. Yes, we could play any of the myriad of non-Blizzard games, which are actually interesting, but us both being in the mood for it at the same time, that's been tough. Eli's working and schooling. Good for you, man. Bettering yourself. It's good. It's good. See, sometimes I start something and I think, but how am I going to counter that? I know what I want to say in my mind, but when I start to put the words down, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound professional. And not that what I was going to say sounds unprofessional, but there's a tone going throughout the script about how I present something, and then I go at it in an analytical way. And if I try to put a thought or a feeling that I have that is anything less than analytical into here, I gotta stop. God, the little things like this to try to craft this beautiful script. Did I just bend my fingers 90 degrees the other way? No. What? No. What are you talking about? Human body's not bent that way. Something I used to do as a kid. I don't know if I can do it anymore. Holy crap. I haven't tried to do it in a long time. Oh, I just went down and did shoulders earlier, and my hands are still... I did one of the exercises because I looked up a shoulder workout on YouTube because I've done workouts specifically. I used to call them support days, and I guess I still do. But I would do push one day, pull the other, and then support. So that's where I would throw in legs, but I would also work hands, forearms, shoulders just to toughen those up. I looked up a shoulder workout today on a different website meant for actually trying to put mass into them, and I had never heard of this thing before, but they call it the Arnold press, and it's a shoulder thing, but you take dumbbells, you have them up here, and then you don't just come down to here, you come down, but you bring them in front of you, and dumbbells are touching together like this, and then you bring them up. But there were a couple other exercises that required me to hold the dumbbells out at an angle, and so that's where the finger strength came in. But there was this thing I used to be able to do as a kid. No. I grew up and my body finished building, but I used to be able to do a thing. You see how big that fucking gap is right there? On both hands, I used to be able to bend my thumb all the way back to touch my arm, and I don't know why I was able to do that. Alright, Eli, have fun at your party. Whatever could your party be? So this particular argument, without going into detail, that I have for this script is I'm trying to say I don't like it when people have the attitude of it's not a big deal on certain things. Some things it's okay, because sometimes you got to realize that it's just, small things are small things. But if something happens that you can't reverse, and then you want to shrug your shoulders and say no big deal. Okay, that's accepting, because I have no problem accepting that, because that's just a way to not get angry at a video game. And trust me, I need those sorts of techniques. That's good. That's fine. But if I'm trying to discuss a way of preventing here's a good example, achievements. When the Xbox 360 introduced achievements to video games, unfortunately, some games had ones that you could miss, and so you would have to start the game all over again. And some game designers weren't that bad. For example, Square didn't like doing achievements. They did not. They really did not like doing achievements. They didn't like putting these little extra triggers in. However, they were actually pretty good at making it to where even if you did not pay attention to them throughout just playing through a Final Fantasy game, you could go back afterward. Now, I'm not saying that that was the case with all of them. Final Fantasy XI is probably an example of one. There might have been one or two in there, but at the same time, that one is just famous for having the most ridiculous requirements. It was something like hitting level 75 in all classes, and it's something that, like, the estimates were 3,000 hours of gameplay to get all the achievements in that game. Not worth it. But it was designed so that these were all achievements that you could just go back and get later on. Now, some games, for example, might have Infinite Undiscovery, possibly my favorite RPG on the 360. Is a game that has an achievement for getting every item, and it has another achievement for getting every weapon. And then a third one for getting every piece of armor, something like that. And you could miss those. And the reason why is because the game had a kind of intricate but not overwhelming crafting system. And you can have some swords that you could craft into better swords and stuff like that. But the problem is those earlier swords, you can sell them off. The game would let you. So that caused it to be, there were missable achievements in the game. So that's an example of something that I'm kind of talking about here in this game series, is preventing players from messing up in that, but not actually hard preventing them. There are some games out there that will say they'll mark an item as a key item. That way you can't sell key items. They won't even show up when you go into a shop menu, and so it keeps you from messing it up. But if you go into a crafting menu, it'll let you. And in that Infinite Discovery game, even though it didn't do that first thing, on that second thing with the achievements, all they cared about is that you had it at one time. You don't have to have them all at once, which makes sense because the only way to get a later sword in the game is to use the earlier one in a crafting, which means that you either have this one or you have this one. But the game was smart enough to know, like, once you've had it, it ticks it off. But if you sell this one off, you can never make this one, so you can never get that achievement. So, but the problem is with what I'm talking about here, if I actually prevent someone from doing something, what I am then doing as the designer is I am taking away player choice. And so what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to come up with in this situation that I'm talking about is trying to come up with an elegant selection or an elegant method where I still I still allow player choice, but at the same time, I still find a way to save the player from themselves, is one way of putting it. So that's what I'm trying to come up with now with what I'm writing on at the moment. Too much mobile games make your fingers stiff? Gotta get off that phone there, Moss. Have I looked into the Amazon Studios game New World? Is HWNE an abbreviation for something? Or is that just a mistype? New World game. New World is an upcoming by Amazon set to release in May. Mid 1600s, players colonized a fictional land modeled after British America in the Atlantic Ocean. Players scavenge resources, craft items, and fight other players. I wish the fight other players thing wasn't there. Honestly, I wish the MMO part wasn't there, but so this sounds interesting. I'm not going to say it's my favorite video game of all time, but one that holds a very special place in my heart is a game that I have never heard of anyone else. Like, whenever I've talked about this game, no one else has ever mentioned it. No one else ever played it. It is on. I'm going to check. Hold on. Let me make sure, because it was on. Why is GOG loading in? Okay, good old games. I was at GOG.com. Why is it loading in? It loaded the Japanese version or something. Anyway. It's here! And it's $3.39. You guys have to get this just to give it a shot. So, can I put a link in chat? Bang! So, it's a game called Conquest of the New World, and it was a game that we had. So, Good Old Games, GOG, they go back and they get these old games, and then they do whatever is needed to make them playable on new systems. So this works on Windows 7, 8, 10. But this game, I had to load this game from DOS, from its CD. The computer was a Windows 95 computer, but I still had to load this game from DOS. I had to log out of Windows into DOS and start the game. This New World sounds a lot like that. So at the beginning of Conquest of the New World, you would pick which country you wanted to come from. You would select the number of opponents. They were all computers. You would select the size of the land seed, the size of the water seed, and the size of the settlements, the native settlements seed. Those were 3 sliders, and there were more, but I'm not going to remember all of them. And that would just determine how big the new world was that you were exploring. Now, eventually, you would end up being able to sail around everything. There would always be multiple. I always maxed everything out, so there would be multiple islands, but there was usually 1 or 2 big ones. But it wasn't like North and South America. It randomly generated stuff at the beginning of the game every time, so it was a different game every time. So it wasn't like you keep going south and it just goes south forever. It didn't scale down the new world or anything like that. It created a new one, and so you would explore. You would get points for discovering rivers, mountains, large plains. You would get these discovery points for it. You'd be able to name them, and then the second boat would come in a few turns in, and you'd be able to, and that boat would have a settler on it. And the settler, you could start settlements in most places, but there were places that were better than others. You wanted a settlement that was along a river, next to the coast, but next to the mountains, and also next to some forests, but also it had to have some plains, because you needed mills in the forest, you needed plains to farm on, you needed to be on the coast to have a port, you needed to be near the mountains to mine different kinds of ore, and then the river made the plains and the forest near them more productive. You needed all that stuff. Your hand is full with Black Desert Mobile. Don't play phone MMOs. What are you doing? You'll never be off your phone. You're gonna develop a this thing, and this is gonna be your neck, buddy. This is gonna be your neck as you get older. Don't do it. From the video you watched, New World is like a survival. You build up from nothing, tons of crafting, no classes, but the game has a weapon mastery system. So that part sounds cool. I think survival is used to describe way more games than it should, but at the same time, I don't. Is there a survival game that I actually really enjoyed that was the kind of starting from scratch? You gotta find things and start a fire, then you need to find shelter, then you should probably find clothes, all that sort of stuff. I don't know that there's one that I've actually played. Did I stream one? Because these kind of things didn't really. Before I streamed, survival games weren't really a thing, or at least they weren't called that. Survival horror had been a genre for a long time, but that's different type of stuff. That's like Condemned and Heart of Darkness, that sort of thing. Heart of Darkness? I might not be thinking of the right one. Fear? No, Fear was more of a shooter. That just had those scary elements. 7 Days to Die, I never played that. Never wanted to. But was 7 Days to Die, did that one have, did you need to eat to survive? Because that, to me, I think we had this discussion on stream once. Someone was asking me if I wanted to play this one game, but like, there were just too many games that were getting the survival tag associated with them, because at the time, those games were hot. And someone was trying to explain to me why it was a survival game, and it basically boiled down to if you die, it's bad. Like in every game? Caesar building game? No, I don't think he's talking about like Civilization. Moss. Yeah, I don't think I did survival type stuff. Mainly because I wasn't a big fan of that whole gathering component. And when I watched other streamers, I remember MEPTech was big on one or two of them. Ark was one of them. 7 Days to Die was another one. He did a lot of those. And I was thinking, he keeps going around and chopping wood and gathering feathers, and I wouldn't have fun doing that myself, and I can't imagine that being fun for viewers. Now, obviously, those games had fans. Ark in particular, wasn't that? No, that was greedy developer stuff. So I don't even if it went free to play, it probably hid all of the normal decent stuff behind a paywall. Yeah, I didn't play The Forest, which apparently had a good story that was hidden behind no game. That was another thing that was. They should have put the game or the story into a game that could have delivered the story better, because it was just The Forest was a product of the time of those survival type games being popular, and so they decided to make a Survivor game, even though they really shouldn't, with what they were trying to do with it. Here's a good example of a game that was called a survival game, and I didn't feel like it was We Dying Few, or We Happy Few. People were calling that a survival game just because it involved gathering and crafting and doing missions, and if you died, it was bad. Well, that's just an example of just what people were. We don't speak of that game, Tabish. That game doesn't exist. Hell, I think Roblox is actually still a blocked word on the main channel. That was a joke from Kang years back, because it was blocked on his because people kept asking him to play it. And so I took it as a blocked word myself, but I would use it in his because back when YouTube had mod chat, when it sucked less, and well, anyway, just another feature that worked and that was great, and they took it away. If you typed, so you could put mod chat, and that would make it a mod chat message, and it wouldn't show to the regular plebs in chat. but also messages that had a blocked word in them would still go into chat, but only the streamer and the moderators could see it. And so you could use any, like you could type, fuck, and then blah, blah, blah in some person in a family friendly streamer's chat. And it would show to the streamer and to the mods. So in his chat for a while, I used to just type Roblox, blah, 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 blah. And that would give him a little bit of a snicker every time because I was saying that instead of mod chat. And he liked that he had blocked that word. And then I hadn't done it in a while, maybe 2 months, and I went into a stream once. And I typed Roblox, blah, blah, blah. And he laughed again, but he said, yeah, Rilo, that word is not blocked anymore. Thank fuck the message that I typed along with it wasn't something that actually needed to be hidden, instead of me, talking, okay, should I block this guy? He's being a little creepy or something like that. It was just something that didn't need to derail chat, so I hid it for his benefit. So thankfully I didn't get that wrong. I didn't mess that up. My favorite games of the decade. Oh, fuck, Robbie. Doesn't exist like the one stream that you poured. Yes. I mean, you guys keep referencing this thing that never happened, and I don't get it. I don't know where that comes from. So, Robbie, the problem with that is now I have to think, what the fuck came from this decade? And when you put that second part in there, games that had a big influence on my life, Destiny did, but not for the positive. Not really. See, that's the thing. For example, in the Air Force, I was a good supervisor. I was a good NCO because what I hated out of many of my NCOs when I was an airman, I just made sure to never do that because they were very lazy, delegated everything. I hated so much of what they did that I just didn't do that. I found the winning formula to be a decent supervisor, and that was don't be a fucking asshole. Destiny got some things right, and honestly, the first game, I did not have the same problems with the first game that a lot of other people did. For example, everyone shit on the initial launch of the game, but when I went back in my post-mortem, I keep talking about that, but I went back and I actually went through. There were 20 missions, 5 on each world, and I went through them, and there was a lot of material in there. The problem with the first game is that it had this whole backstory that it wanted to tell you a bit about, but also leave some of it to mystery, and then it had a bunch of what it had to present to you as the current threat, and then it had other things that it kind of left as these are going to come. And in 20 missions, it should have been more, but in the 20 missions, they covered a ton of ground. It didn't really matter to me that it didn't have a superb Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. But as the game went on, and I felt like they were doing the games as a live service wrong, and I still feel like they're doing Destiny 2 wrong, no matter how far we are removed from the split with Activision, it still influenced me to know what's right, because they were doing so much of what was wrong. So, exactly, Tabish. I don't see the hardcore is just referring to weird stuff. So I mean, Destiny is absolutely on the list as a game that influenced me, because you didn't say positively, but at the same time, I learned from it. That's positive, right? So I have a negative feeling of the game, but it influenced me positively because it was a game that got me discussing game design so much, and probably to the point of annoying anyone who listened. Exis, I'm sorry if you're still here and not asleep for talking nonsense to you. I don't care how much you like hearing me talk. At some point, I had to have got fucking annoying. But at the same time, if you go back to my update video from the beginning of the year, of last year, I talked about that in there. Like, I specifically mentioned that I wanted to be the game design streamer, but I never said that. I just talked game design in there and then hoped that that's who I would attract. I should have just been focused on having fun with who I did have and who did stick around, instead of trying to force a discussion that no one was ready to have, because I wasn't going out of the stream and advertising myself to those communities. I should have. Instead, I was just playing games, and then whoever showed up, showed up. So, must be one of the ancient manuscripts. More research is needed. Well, I let me save you some trouble there, hardcore. If something weird like that ever actually happened, I would probably make that stream private instead of leaving that up, because man, that just doesn't say. That's not clean. That's not professional. And we're professionals here, professionals. So, I mean, you can go looking, but I don't know that you would ever find such a thing. So, I think he poured a lot of things over himself the whole 2019. 2019? I didn't do much. On camera. Fucking Robbie, that is a question. God, you're making me think, because it's so hard to remember. 2010. That's the point. Ooh, Star Wars. Star Wars came out December 2011. A game that I put many hours into. Left with a negative feeling, as I did Destiny. A lot of that negative feeling was directed toward the development team and the community team, and those are outside of the game, so you could call those meta concerns. Shut up, phone. Oh, I couldn't download the video to show you guys, but maybe I can show you in here. Fuck off. So this is a 1 minute 48 second video starting from the 10-second mark, counting down at the Taipei 101. Usually called the Taipei 101, but guess what? O's not a fucking number. So got friends over there for the New Year's, and they sent me the video, but I couldn't. Line won't let me download the video. It'll let me share it, but it won't let me download it to then upload anywhere. And again, Discord is a bitch with file sizes. So wonder why he hasn't posted any Mario Maker since that didn't happen stream. I have played Mario Maker 2. Was that this year? Mario Maker 2 was this year. But I did play Mario Maker 2 on stream. And the second set of We Talk Over videos that I have yet to actually fucking finish and load up are Mario Maker 2. Robbie was there. He knows this. He was playing too. Checkmate. You checkmated nothing. Exus Skyrim. Good fucking call. Good call. Skyrim, absolutely. And everyone's fucking probably tired of it, but the thing is, it's still... except for the people who just wanted to hate it just to be cool, just to, be the internet contrarian, or the people that had the genuine design complaint of Skyrim was kind of just a to-do list simulator, but I don't remember hearing anyone make that complaint about it early on, except maybe Kevin Pereira. But again, he may have been saying that he didn't like it just to say he didn't like it. He was huge on Diablo 3 coming out a few months after that, because Skyrim was 11/11/11, and then Diablo 3 was March the following year. He was huge into that when that came out. Tabish, your friend was near that building too? Cool. Moss, I wouldn't call them Chinese over there in Taiwan. You might, You can download from line? I couldn't find a way to download that video. It would let me share it, but it wouldn't let me download it. The video your friend said. So she sent me that hour 40 or that minute 48 video, and it's probably pretty sizable, but I couldn't download it. It wouldn't let me. Just the option didn't come up. Oh, god damn it. So, by the way, the my ringtone I changed to the phone call or the call sound that you get in Luigi's Mansion 3. And then my notification sound is the battle victory from Dragon Quest XI. I need to do that right now, actually. I need to put that file of that ringtone sound onto my computer, quiet it way the fuck down, because damn is this thing loud. And then put it back on, because if I have my ringer set to just level 1, it's that loud. But I don't hear the other thing, the actual call. So I've got to lessen this down so I can just leave it on full volume the whole time, and that would be fine. Chrono Trigger, Super Mario World. So I've had other game sounds on there to. There you are. Copy. Sticking you in here for later. Scusi. When you enlarge the video, you have a translucent white download button on top right corner, but it seems I do not have a fucking iPhone. How dare you, Tabish? Never. I will hurt you. You have a translucent white download button on the top right corner. No. Wait. Bottom right. Bottom right corner. There it is. It's right fucking there. I was trying to hold click on it and see what it would do. I didn't expect that it was right there. Horizon Zero Dawn was good for the stream and also good. Robbie, thank you. You guys are building my list for me. I keep being distracted. I'm glad you guys are here distracting me with chat, but it's holding me back from answering your question. You might give me crap. That's what you do with your family. Happy New Year. Happy New Year for Mountain Time. Who here is in Mountain Time? No, hardcore. Keep bringing it on. No, I don't want your top 10 list. Other sites. I want a big list for me to pull from. No, I'm not going to Forbes, because Forbes won't leave me the fuck alone about my ad blocker, and I'm not whitelisting you. I ad block for a reason, and I will never turn ad block off. I pay for the more expensive Hulu to not see ads. I will always have YouTube Premium. I will never watch your fucking ads. Anyone. Ever. Ooh, 14 hours ago. 100 best games of the decade. Paid agent available. Why? That would have been 100 games for me to. Oh, wait, here's another one on Polygon. So this would be another thing for me to pull from. 10 to 1. There's so many games I fucking avoided that are on this list. So Fire Emblem Three Houses, I gotta say, I haven't put that many hours into a game off stream in a long time. So I am very, very much enjoying it. It's very much my style of tactical RPG. And then it's also, I'm enjoying the outside of the game stuff. Not all of it. I'm not planting flowers. I'm not getting better at cooking or anything like that. So even though it's a recent game, and I know how lists always tend to talk about recent games more because they're fresher in the memory, I'm going to put that on the list. Dragon Quest XI goes on the list, despite the fact that it only came out in 2018. Persona 5, the first one that I think Robbie. You, my friend, have earned this so hard. My final middle finger of the year goes to Robbie. Good one, my friend. Good one. First one that I think that I named that you guys didn't put in chat first, though. Persona 5. Persona 5 was fucking magical. So, you joined the gang when I started Horizon Zero Dawn. Yep, a lot of people came in with that, Tavish. Never played Dark Souls hardcore. I do remember you coming in with Evolve. I'm still surprised that you think that that was a good time for the channel. It was kind of a little bit better than things that came before it, but at the same time, it was also the one game where I just stopped stream one day. I was planning on streaming for hours. I just fucking stopped because everyone in chat started sharing their ages and they were all 11 to 15 or 9 to 15. I just stopped right there because for some reason I had this image of my viewers being, like me, but they weren't. I was streaming to a bunch of children and I didn't want to. I didn't have anything against it, but I didn't want to. And so I thought, fuck, do I just quit right there? No. But I wanted the game to work, but at the same time, the game itself was very shallow. So I didn't end up sticking around. Super Mario Maker. Puff Puff. Oh, by the way, I did try to get that emote over on Twitch, and they said no. Because I hate children? Robbie, do I hate your kid? So what were the games that you guys? Okay, hold on. So Destiny, I did name as an influencing game. Star Wars, let's say that it's on both. It's sort of a favorite because it actually is probably the best game for a lot of things, even though it also has a lot of those negative influences and somewhat positive. Horizon Zero Dawn, Skyrim, both for being more of the favorites. Dragon Quest XI-S, Fire Emblem Three Heroes, Persona 5. That's a 1, 2, 3 on the RPGs. Yep. See? Right there. Proof in chat, guys. I don't hate all children. Robbie's is somehow not annoying. So his gets a pass. His gets to survive the child purge that I dream about every day. Mario Maker. Adding that to the list. I hope someone's keeping track because I'm not. On this, Resident Evil 7, Holy Balls, and also the other game that kind of goes with Horizon Zero Dawn is Ghost Recon. Let's see if putting this TV here will help block my voice from the door. I was going down the stairs. I just left to go down the stairs to go to the lobby a little while earlier, and someone was talking next to their door, or maybe they weren't next to their door. Point is, I could hear their conversation clearly right outside. I wasn't even standing right next to their door, but I could still hear their conversation, and so the acoustics here are not good. So I'm going to drop my volume down and also move my TV here to block me from the door to help. Resident Evil 7, amazing. Doom, good call, hardcore. Ghost Recon, Wildlands. I didn't get roasted by Robbie. South Park, okay, so South Park, The Stick of Truth, yes. But, and I played this on stream, and you guys know, even though I enjoyed the combat more and I still like the first one, but I did think that the different combat was more fun in the second one. Honestly, if they just allowed you to have more than 2 party members in the first one, the first one's combat, but with more than 2 party members, that would have been fucking great. But instead, they also introduced the tactical element of it, of positioning. But my problem with the second one, and the reason why I never even went back and played it, I even paid for the DLC and I haven't went back and loaded those up yet, is that it forced you to engage in racism. Instead of it just being a joke that you could just choose to not laugh at, and it also just being something that you never had to do, there were actual points where in the game that you could not progress without engaging in racism, and there were also other points where it was trying to force on you. There was sexual identity stuff in there, and it was so that was. I felt like they got it right the first time, and then that aspect of it I didn't like about the second one. So, Stick of Truth, fucking amazing. That's definitely one of my favorite. But Resident Evil 7, damn. That brought me back to the first game so much, and I loved the first one. So, Moss, yes, Bendy. I remember you liked Bendy. Bendy was good. Bendy, I don't know if it was a favorite game, but that was definitely one that worked well on stream. The horror stuff. I don't know that I ever finished it. Did I get 1, 2, 3, 4, but not 5? Is that something I should go back and do? Bendy and the Ink Machine. I can't tell what parts I have. Because I don't like the new Steam redesign. Again, they took a lot of useful information that you had up front, and then they moved it. They didn't fucking tell you where. They just kind of just hid it. The fuck is that? I'll have to come back in there later. Show more details. I don't know if I got that last part. I don't remember if I had the last part. Let me go to the store page. The complete edition is only $4 right now, 80% off. But I can't remember. So because they're now only selling it in the complete edition, I can't see the individual chapters anymore. Does that also mean if they're not selling it that way that I just now have the complete? Is that how they did it? I could see them doing it that way. So I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I watched Markiplier, I think, play Chapter 5, but I myself don't have it. I think that's what it was. Hardcore, that's a South Park quote. Monster Hunter World. I wish. You know what, Robbie? Bam. There's a game that I'm in the mood for. That's a progression game that I'm in the mood for that I do wish I had put more time into it. And that one was kind of funny with Wii Talkover, because that was the only game where... Oh, I gotta get rid of this blanket. So the first time we played it on Wii Talkover, I don't think Waterboy had played it at all. And then we come back and we play it again months later. And I had quit at that time because that was the game that I decided if it does well for the channel, I'll keep playing it. Or I will keep streaming. If it doesn't, I'm going to quit. Or not quit, but just drop down to once or twice a week or something like that. Try to go full time on a job. And then not that long after I quit, I got this job anyway, so I couldn't have done anything. So months later, we come back and now Waterboy is the master, and he had progressed way further. But I remember asking him the question, and these are episodes that have aired because I actually edited these and put them up. But is it a game where you keep farming the monster to get pieces to fall off to make armor that makes you better at fighting that monster? Because that's a typical MMO cycle that not a lot of games have kind of figured out how to break. Because when you go into, for example, Operations in Star Wars were kind of like that. Raids in Destiny were like that, where you keep going, it would make it better at that raid, but they didn't really have much function outside of it. And Monster Hunter World was kind of like that, but it was still one that I enjoyed so much that I wanted to do it. And at the same time, there were so many trees with the weapons and the gear, and I wanted all of them. I wanted to collect all that shit and get all that shit together. And so, honestly, and then it came out on PC, and I've got a big beefy PC. But I never played it. I never ended up getting it for the PC, despite the fact that it's been on sale a ton of times on Steam. But that's a game that I feel like I would want a controller with anyway. It was kind of how I felt with Assassin's Creed. When I tried to do that on stream, it felt a little weird playing that one with WASD because I felt, especially when I was in combat, that I wanted the full analog movement and analog control with the camera. Camera being faster with the mouse, that's a good point. That's a good arguable point, but I don't know. Maybe I go back to the PS4. I don't know. Monster Hunter World, I still want to play that. I wish I had a lot more time for that. But the job did get in the way, and that's fine because the job has allowed Exus and I to have a much better last couple of years than we had prior to that. Let me catch up on chat, and then I'll scroll down this list. You didn't play the DLC, the Frost one, Moss? I thought you would have. You're going to go get some sleep. Hopefully you can get some stuff done with your sink repairs tomorrow. If you can't, you'll have to call someone. All right, Hardcore. I'm going to miss you the rest of the stream. I wish you could stick around there, buddy. But it is past 1 your time, so. And a Happy New Year to you, buddy. Control is a game that might have had an effect on me had I played it yet. I thought I even pre-ordered it. But I do want to play it. Apparently it had a... I don't know. I know Skill Up didn't like it that much, but... and apparently it had an update but that wasn't DLC. That kind of fixed some of the issues. But I do still want to play Control because it had even some fucking creepy visuals can sometimes make a game, and it was a game that I think is one of those rare ones where I think when it came out brand new, PS4, PC, I think it might have came out on the Xbox. It was $40. It wasn't the full 60. GF Monster Hunter World just recently. Which system, Robbie? Why is that game on this list? A Semblance. That probably won't even be on this list. A Semblance. Do you guys fucking remember that stream? That's fucking way up there. That is way up there. And then there was also a kind of similar game called What If. That was in that same vein. And then a third one that was similar to that little window when I was trying to play those games during when I had 3 streams a day. And the middle window was the Steam something. I don't remember what I was trying to call it at the time. Fucking A Semblance. That was an amazing game. I want to talk. I want to get involved with those developers, find out if they're doing more. That thing was fucking great. PS4, gotcha. Kind of pass over the PS4 to your daughter, so yeah, quitting console. Get out of your fucking phone and start playing PC. We gotta get you a PC. We gotta get you a PC built up there, Moss. If you would allow me to send you shit. What? There's no way that was this decade. In fact, I know that it wasn't this decade. Robbie, why is Mass Effect 2 on this list of games that were in this decade? Mass Effect 3 came out before this decade. And I know that because I was still working at the Campbell GameStop location. And that was before this decade. Because I got it when it came out at that location. I think I still have it. I don't know. I think it's still sealed. So I'm scrolling through this list looking for games. Not just staring into space. I even hate that some of the games that are on this list are on this list. Ooh, when did that come out? I think that was 2011. No, December 17th, 2009. That's just over 10 years ago. So a lot of people hate the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, but there were a lot of things about it I liked. There were a lot of things about each game I liked. The first one came out December 17th, 2009. Mass Effect 2 was January 6th, 2010. That doesn't make sense for my memories. Maybe I'm remembering getting to Mass Effect 2 there, but I thought I had left that location before. No. I did leave that location before I got out of the military, but I got out of the military late 2010. So maybe that's what I'm remembering. Okay. So this Final Fantasy 13 came out December 17th, 2009. We can kind of call that this last decade type game. And then its sequels. I like them both for various reasons. To me, I don't know why people I don't know. They harp on fucking everything. It's cool to hate everything, but I always find that even subconsciously I will dismiss the things I don't like about something if there's also something good there that I can instead focus on. So with those games, I had that. I liked those systems. I liked the 13's combat system. I hated that it took so long for the party to come together so that you can actually mix your party up and choose who to play and get your the what do they call them? Not classes. The roles, the role structure that you wanted to with who you wanted to. I didn't like that. I didn't like that it took so long to get to that point. But I still liked it. And when it got to that end game, I had that. They didn't split them back up. Um, in 13.2, I really liked having the third member of your party be something that you've captured. Not the first game to do it, but they executed it well. And then in 13.3, I really liked that whole paradigm system where she was equipped. She had the 3 paradigms, and it changed her outfits and everything. I liked all the games in that series for various reasons. They didn't all have to be, perfect, great games. So that's the first 50 on the list that I looked through. Why is Sea of Thieves on this list? Why is No Man's Sky on this list? Ugh. God of War is on this list? I remember that coming out when I was in that location too. If I click on this, what happens? Does it show me a page with release date? Released. Oh, the redone God of War. Got it. Let's see. Divinity Original Sin 2 would probably be on this list if I had played it. I want to play through. I don't care how much they say that you don't have to. I still want to play through the first Original Sin. And I started that and then stopped. I don't know if it was on stream or not, but it didn't get far. Assassin's Creed Odyssey's on this list. I very much enjoyed what I played out of Origins. I really did. And I wish I could have continued it, but I kept having problems streaming it. But I liked what I played. I had played the first Assassin's Creed all the way through and fucking hated it. I hated everything about it. For some reason, that one, it felt a lot better to play, and it also ticked a lot of other boxes, and so I was very much enjoying it. And Odyssey was kind of built in the same vein, and I wanted to get into that. I wanted to experience that as well, and I probably will, but since I haven't, I can't put that on the list. Portal 2 definitely goes on the list. Exus and I had a blast doing that. Doom, like was mentioned before. Dishonored 2. When was Dishonored released? Let me see. Dishonored was 2012. So both Dishonored games, absolutely. Even though I haven't even finished the second one. Outer Wilds could be on that list, but I haven't played it. No, not Outer Wilds. The one that came out that you guys know what I'm trying to talk about. All right, Moss. See you later. Thanks for hanging out. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I wish I played more of Nier. It didn't hook me. And I'm calling it Nier because that's how you fucking say it, not Nier. Everyone else is wrong. Sorry, Witcher 3. You didn't hook me either. In fact, you pushed me away. Never got to play PT, but that thing looked great. That was another one of those well-designed fuck with you things. But I also watched a theory video on it recently that seemed to make it look like the whole game was Kojima's little horror poem about his relationship with the company. So that's why the game and that was after the game. Like they canceled the game on him, but he was still going to be allowed to release that little bit, and so it became that. And then when they figured out what it was about it was him shit talking the company. They put out a patch to update the game to make it unplayable. So people probably thought, oh, a patch to BT? Are they gonna? Did they update it? Are they gonna expand on it? And then they update it, and it makes it literally unplayable. So you had to turn off being able to patch the game. The fuck is Kentucky Route Zero, and how is it number 4 on this list? Anyway, so went through that list. Probably got everything covered in there. I don't know. If I went home and looked at my shelves, I could probably find a couple more games, but I'm not at home, so I can't look at my shelves. So, anyway. Thank you guys for coming. This was good. This was fun. Maybe I should do this more often when I know more of you guys are awake and available. So, starting streams at 8:45 seemed to be okay. And maybe earlier would work as well. So, anyway. Thank you guys a bunch. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. Robbie, that was a fucking great way to spend the second half of the stream going through that list of, because a lot of the games that I talked about were things that I had a lot of fun with you guys on stream. So, that was good. That was good. I'd fucking do the same topic again in 2 weeks. And it would not at all be old. So, thank you guys. And I'm gonna keep working on this project. Once I turn the stream off, I'm back to typing. I'm back to solving this problem I'm trying to figure out. I'm turning Blue Mountain State back on, and I'm typing for a few more hours, and then I work 10 hours tomorrow on New Year's Day. So I'll go to the office, and fucking no one will be there, and that'll be great. So I can put one monitor, I'll have some bullshit playing, and on the other monitor, I can just get to work because I've got a lot of it to do. So anyway, thank you guys a bunch, and I'll see you guys next time.